Hey there bitches, Slaps here. So today I'm starting a new series, new game, and it happens to be one of my favourite games of all time. Yes, it is Final Fantasy VII. So this is a game that I would have first played probably about the age of, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, probably around 98, 99. Had it on the PS1, obviously. This is the PS4 version. This is actually the 5th time that I've bought this game. Having bought it twice on PS1 because my original disc 1 stopped working and had to buy it again. I then bought it on the PS3 on the store. Bought it on Steam also, and now on PS4. I'm led to believe that this is a port of the PC version, which I do own but never actually played. So yeah, this should be cool. I know some things have changed a little bit. I did play a little bit earlier just to familiarise myself somewhat, because it's been a couple of years since I last played this. So I noticed a couple of things have changed, like the fact that Cloud runs automatically and the controls have been reversed somewhat from the original. I don't know if you're aware, but normally in Japanese games their controls are somewhat different. In the Western world, so America, Britain, Europe, we tend to use the cross button as the confirmation button. So in menus and stuff, to say OK or to perform an action, it's normally the cross button. In Japan, it's always the square button on the PlayStation. So the original Final Fantasy VII game had that control scheme, whereas this one, it's been inverted in many ways, to the Western world way of doing things. So with the cross button as the confirmation button and the square button or circle to to go back in menus. And also I can use the analog stick. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, that is the biggest thing that was missing from the original PS1 version. First thing I want to do, I just want to mess around with the menus a little bit. Ever since playing this game for the very first time, I've always hated the plain blue screens. I don't know why, so I just like to change it a little bit. So about there is good. We'll put the ATB on weight and put everything on fast, because damn, sometimes battles can be so slow. Alright, so we shall change all that. Yeah, and away we go. So let's grab the potions off that guy. Let's get into it. I'm sure most of you are aware of Final Fantasy VII. I'm sure you've all played it before, yada yada. So really I don't need to go into too much detail as far as the gameplay. Yeah, it's all pretty standard fare really for anybody that's played a Final Fantasy game, let alone Final Fantasy VII. Just a bit of brief history about me with this game is this was actually incredibly the first Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and a lot of Final Fantasy fans will tell you that your first one is always your favourite, and that's definitely true for me. This is by far my favourite. So much so it's actually my second favourite game of all time. So yeah, it was the first one I ever played, and I just fell in love with it immediately. From there went on and played 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 13 2, all the way up. I enjoyed some more than others, I'll be honest. Let's face it, no one really thinks Final Fantasy VIII's an amazing game, do they? Because it's not. 13 also, yeah, not the best either. Okay, so let's just get through this first area. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what's happening or worry too much about the dialogue, at least not in the beginning of the game. Well, no, alright, I will. I'll fill you in just a little bit, just in case you're unaware. Alright, so we're this character called Cloud, who's, well, all we know of him at this point in the game is that he's an ex-soldier. Whatever that means. And we're with this group of guys called Avalanche, who are basically a... Well, I mean, as far as the government are concerned, I guess they're certainly deemed as the bad guys. You know, they would be deemed as terrorists, I guess, but yeah, in truth, they're not. Well, I suppose in truth, really, they are. They are terrorists, really, because they're rising up against the government and blowing up their shit, so... So yeah, we're in a reactor, and that's pretty much all we know right now. And apparently we're here to blow it up. I guess Avalanche's way of looking at it is that will cut out the power, which will cause the government maybe to collapse, or I don't really know how that's meant to free the people or anything like that, but that's kind of their plan. Okay, so we go through a bit of dialogue here with Barrett. He talks about the planet dying or some shit. And Cloud's like, I don't care, man. You know, this is a job. I'm here to blow shit up, I want to blow shit up, and then I want to get paid. Just want to check something quick. That music seems a little loud. Just knock it down just a little bit. Okay, so we just follow Jesse down the stairs here. So yes, Final Fantasy VII does have random battles, and it has a lot of them. So there are going to be parts, a lot of parts in this game where I'm going to want to farm, essentially. Farm experience, farm gil, which is the currency in this game. Farm APs as well, which I'll explain a bit later on. And even farming certain items as well. I won't be doing any of that on camera because that's boring. Anytime I'm going through an area like this, or actually, you know, where there's dialogue, where there's anything to do with the story, I will record. The bits in between, I'll totally do off camera because it's boring, tedious shit. Or potentially live stream some of it. That might be fun. But yeah, most of the farming's really going to be done by me, sat in a dark room by myself late at night with a pot of coffee for hours on end. And you know, I'll come back in the next video and I'll be like, hey guys, look, I've gone up 10 levels and all my magic's leveled up and I'm now Beast. No, I won't be Beast. I'll try not to get that far ahead. I do want it to be a little bit of a challenge, so yeah, maybe I won't do as much of it as I would normally on a casual playthrough, but we'll see. The other point I want to make at the beginning of the game here is I do plan on completing this game. Alright, I do. I know that's probably going to run into hundreds of episodes, but I do plan on completing it. In my mind, this game, completion of this game is not killing Sephiroth. Alright? I just want to make that point. To me, that's not completing the game. To me, completing the game is collecting all the materia, which means at some point breeding a gold chocobo. I'm sorry, look, I pronounce it chocobo. I have ever since I was a kid. deal with it. So yeah, breeding the gold chocobo, getting all the materia, including all the secret ones and everything, yada yada. Leveling it all up to max for all the master materials. I'm aware this might not mean anything to somebody who's never played the game before, but I'm sure most of you have. Also beating Ruby and Emerald weapon. And then killing Sephiroth. To me that's game completion. Doesn't necessarily have to have all characters at level 99 or all level 4 limit breaks or all ultimate weapons. Those things are just bonuses. You know, I will probably go for those as well. A lot of those will again probably be done off camera. Especially the farming involved for the limit breaks maybe, or you know, just the boring shit like some of the stuff that you have to do to get the ultimate weapons. And, you know, some of them are just found as you play through the game or do certain events. Some of them you have to go to the gold saucer, like for instance, and score so many points on an arcade style game. I mean, Jesus Christ. That could actually take a long time. Something like that I may do off camera. And probably a lot of like chocobo farming, breeding will be done off camera also. Like the racing, etc. You know, I'll do as much as I can. I'll do as much as I can on camera. I'm also probably going to be recording this in pretty big chunks. I mean, the videos are still only going to be 15 minutes long because that's all the PS4 can handle, which is really frustrating. But I'm probably going to be playing at least an hour or two at a time. So by the time this, for example, episode 1 goes up on YouTube, I'm probably already, you know, 6 or maybe even 8 episodes in at that point. So yeah, if I derp a little bit because I've forgotten certain things, or you know, whatever, you'll just have to bear with me. And if you do happen to watch this video and you know, and leave comments about certain shit that I've done wrong or what have you, you know, just bear with me. It's tough shit, you know. I'm sure certain people play this game, you know, in a much different way than I do, or whatever. There are many different ways of playing this game. You know, I've got my way, you've got yours. I'll do things that you don't, you'll do things that I don't. So yeah, after talking nonsensically for 13 minutes, we're at the first boss of the game. This is where the game introduces you really to certain aspects of the game, like limit breaks, and the fact that most bosses in this game have something special about them in a way. They almost all have a certain technique really that you need to use in order to beat them effectively. So this guy, you know, doesn't do any damage really. He's very simple. Has a fair amount of health for this point in the game, but like there where his tail goes up, don't attack him. Alright, seriously, he'll wreck you. So we'll just take this easy. He'll be almost dead actually in any case, maybe a couple more hits I reckon. In fact, if I could get him to attack Barrett so we can get his limit break, that should finish him off. I don't think he's going to, is he? No. Yes he is, there we go. Get wrecked, son. And he's down. And that is probably about the end of episode 1, I'm guessing by my timer here.